I like snow. I actually spent a good period of my youth up canyon. I was a ski bum at Alta there, so I love coming back here. But now I do geospatial professional things. I've had quite a journey there from ski bum all the way to my current role as consultant advisor. I've been in academia. I've been a little bit in government research as a visiting researcher, doing consulting, a big thing at big tech here for a while. Always kind of in the same thing of just doing some type of extraction of data, prototyping things, making things easier to use. I worked for a very innovative team, and this is my little AI in the presentation. I had to get in there, just trying to confirm my own biases of like something that was influential in this industry. I worked on Earth Engine for a long period of time. Starting out when it was a team, I think of about 6 when I started, and we had about 6 users in the outside world, up to where it is nowadays, which is like 50,000 users. I basically was the person leading the developer relations, which means that I'm actually teaching people about the tool, because tools are great, technology is great, but if people don't understand how to use them, then they're really not impactful. And that's not the impact either they're learning, but it's on the path there. This is my little summary of what Earth Engine is. It's a little box here that has a lot of data, and you can chain together these algorithms, give it some instructions, and it spits out stuff on the other side. It was kind of innovative. It's in the cloud, but it really looks like a black box to many people. You can like play around with the inputs, kind of hit it on there, see what it comes on the outside, but it's not very transparent. So if you've ever worked for it with a while, you probably have some frustrations about how easy it is to debug things. So since leaving Google, I've been working a lot more with cloud-native geospatial, reached out to Jed, met him probably a few months after I left Google, been working on these tools ever since. So I started out trying to figure out what was going on in the outside world outside of Google, started mapping things out, started with Radiant Earth as an organization. What do they deal with? What are the concepts? What are the projects that they involved? And then tracing that, because it's a chain. There's lots of organizations. They're connected in strange ways. The projects are run by different people. And it's actually been a 2-year plus kind of learning experience that still goes on, just to learn about what is going on, who is doing it, where they're at. So what I look for when I'm looking at libraries, but this goes for organizations and everything, is like, what's a clear description of what you do? Do you have a license that I want to actually play with you? Do you have docs? Do you have a README? Do you have formal releases? Do you have lots of contributors and tutorials? I mean, this is what I dealt with at Google Earth Engine for the longest time. Is there something that was going to teach me about what your project does in the first 5 minutes before I get bored and want to move on to something else? So I have very strong opinions on tutorials and the need for them. My frustrations are around of sometimes they're not there. There's no example code. They give you a source code and they expect you to understand why it's valuable. Can't get it to run because there's like versioning problems, content's outdated. Other people can't contribute fixes. It's frustrating. So we're trying to attack that in the cloud-native geospatial and STAC world by like looking at the tutorials that are out there right now. Some of these haven't been updated for 3 years. Congratulations to Chris, you were the last contributor on that one. But we have lots of things that we want to do to reduce the barriers to tutorial writing, to make them more useful, make them language agnostic, make it so you can package with versions so they run, so you can run them in workshops. Code collaboration being simple, and there's a lot of tools that are around this stuff that I am into. The Conda ecosystem is great for like, I'm a Python programmer, but I like other languages, whether Pixies, Dev Containers, GitHub, Quarto is a great distribution platform for docs, and this is what it can sort of look like, is people can collaborate on GitHub, and they can produce something like on the other side here is a tutorial that has links if you want to edit it or make a pull request or make a suggestion. Pretty seamless. Doesn't have to just work with Python. This is inspired by Project Pythia. They've done some incredible work. It's also inspired by this tutorial I saw at SAT Summit where they were using dev containers, and Alex is here somewhere. It was awesome. That's inspiring. And so I want to thank you to the people that have been on this journey already with me. There's a lot more that I can't actually even name in there because I forget, because they're like little suggestions along the way. It's been great. If you are interested in this, reach out to myself, find Michelle, get on the Slack education or STAC education Slack. There's a tutorials for GitHub for starting the tutorials, and if you're interested in that mapping of libraries, happy to share that with you as well as I develop that in real time. So thank you.